I show up for a first date and the guy has his mom with him. I tried to be polite, but she was asking me questions like, what's your 5-year plan? Can you cook? How do you feel about grandkids? First of all, what the fuck?
It'd be like a funny story to tell all my friends later. But after that,
Do it for the plot and dish.
Yeah,
And
very
having
young.
a fiance at 25 is crazy. Let's
Insane.
talk relationships.
it's so funny when I tell the story because it's like I dated his best friend.
So you can date the best friend and still get the
Yeah.
friend. When did you really start Vanilla Swirl?
This time last year.
And you're at 900,000?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tall Blonde. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tall Blonde. Today, we have a very exciting guest. It is Vanilla Swirl. Now, we just realized that we are from very close to where we grew up and from each other. I'm from London, Ontario, and she's from Barrie, which is crazy because we're meeting in Miami, okay? But she is a lifestyle and beauty creator, and I have a lot of questions for her today. So let's get into it. So can you give me, just to start off for the people that don't know you, even though probably a lot will, give me like a brief bio. How would you present yourself? Maybe like an elevator pitch, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. Elevator pitch, like 30 seconds. My real name is Mila J. I go by Vanilla Swirl. I feel like everyone always asks me why Vanilla Swirl.
Yeah, can you tell us?
It was my spam username. Do you remember like Finstas back in like high school?
But why Vanilla Swirl was your spam?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just one day I was like, I need to be Vanilla Swirl because everyone's spams were too close to their real
Right.
name or their username. I'm like, I need it to be
It spoke to
top secret. And yeah, it spoke to me. So that's why it's my username. I do beauty, lifestyle content. Like I'm obsessed with just being a girl. That's what I always tell people. Like it's my favorite thing. It's the best thing. And I just kind of create content about that. Yeah.
So for people that don't know you, what are like 3 words that maybe your best friend or your family members would describe you?
Yeah, I would say insane for other reasons, like for
In the
different,
best way.
In the best
Yeah.
way. Definitely messy.
Yeah.
Which is just, that's what my fiance, my friends, my parents would say about me. And the third one would be like very loyal.
Okay.
A very loyal person.
I love loyalty.
Yeah,
Because
me
it's
too.
rare nowadays with
So hard to find.
especially girls.
Yeah.
And obviously you're doing so well on social media and content creation. You have almost 1 million followers on TikTok. Obviously the ban is gone. We can shoot that over
Forget
our
about
shoulder.
it.
Yeah, like bye-bye. But you've done so well. Can you take me through obviously the journey? Like why did you start? How did you come to having beauty? And I found you off of your hair video from how
Okay.
your hair was like not as in the best condition being a blonde.
Ruined, yeah.
Yeah, at one point, and then how it is today, which is insane because I have extensions and this is not my real hair. So,
It looks like it though. That's
but
all
I
that
take
matters.
tips from you, and I'm like, it came on my feed, and I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I need to see. Thank you. But
it.
talk to me. How did you even get here?
Yeah, so it's like the craziest journey because I was someone who was like not on social media, like in college and all that stuff.
Interesting.
I was like very private
Yeah.
to now think that I put like my whole life out there. I post every day. So it really started about like 2 to 3 years ago. I was working for a social media marketing agency. So I was working kind of on the back end of things. So working
What
with
agency?
So it was a Toronto-based agency. They were absorbed by another agency, but it was Kaizen. So it was Kaizen Media.
Okay.
And it was super local, and I got to work with like clients and brands, and I really saw how much these girls were making, and like their jobs seemed so fun. I'm like, you post, some girls were posting just like their workouts every day,
Yeah.
their hair.
Realistic.
Like just like, or moms just showing their real life. And I'm like, you have the best job just getting, like you're able to just live your normal life, film it, post it, and then build a community and
Use
like
it as a career.
and like make such good money, have connections. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you literally have the cheat code to life right now.
Yeah.
Like I want to be you. So I originally started posting on a whole separate account about like social media tips, things I've learned, like what agencies look like.
Like the Vanilla Swirl, or was it
it was
just
like it was a different account called Mila J. I grew that,
Okay.
grew it to like 300,000 within like a
Wow.
year, just doing like tips. And eventually I grew such a big following where I was able to start a whole business for like social media consulting, strategy, everything that I learned at the agency.
Wow.
And I still do that business now.
How old were you at this point?
I don't know. I'm like, how old am I now? 25, turning 26. So 23,
That's
24.
young to know all of this.
Yeah. I was like obsessed with social media once I started working here because I'm like, there's so much that goes into it, so much
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Like I'm sure you know that like some of your audience wouldn't even know all the time, effort, strategy, things that go into it, planning. And I was like obsessed with it. So started my own business, which is now how I work with like Meta, TikTok for Business, huge companies. And I don't even really like talk about that much because I'm like, that's just like my 9 to 5 to me. I'm like, that's just boring.
Yeah.
Which led me into
Boring to you, but so interesting to so many people.
Yeah, true. But that's what led me into Vanilla Swirl, because like people would message me being like, yeah, it's easy to grow your account when you're doing like education videos. Like, how do you grow like a beauty channel or a lifestyle channel? I'm like, I could do it. Like, I wholeheartedly believe like the tips and stuff I know. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I started Vanilla Swirl, following all those things, just like basic social media things.
Doing what you know.
Yeah, doing what I know.
And what you
doing
taught
what
other
I
people.
love. Yeah. And like my other hobby, other than like, I guess my job at the time, which was like social media marketing, was beauty, like obsessed with hair and makeup, all that stuff. So I'm like, that's what I'm going to post about. That's going to be kind of like my niche.
Yeah.
And that's where Vanilla Swirl, oh my God, Vanilla Swirl was born.
Which is crazy that you know all the behind the scenes, because so many people like myself have a strategy manager that kind of guides them too. Like, of course, you know, you have your management. I mean, a lot of people have their management, and I know you're with Dulcedo. I always say it wrong.
How do you say it?
I say Dulcedo or Dulcedo.
I say Dulcedo.
Okay.
But I don't know, because like my account manager, my manager, they both say different things.
So I think it's whatever you want.
Yeah, it's whatever you want.
But they do get the gist.
Yeah.
But we have like, if you go with an agency, you have that manager, and sometimes you have an account manager, and sometimes you have a strategy manager. So normally there's a team, but you, how you're describing it right now, you could do all of it. Obviously, it would help you to have a team behind you.
Yeah.
You know probably more than the people working for you do. Like, that's crazy. And that's at such a young age to know that much and be able to be ahead of so many people. You can use it to your advantage. I'm impressed just hearing all of that, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
And do you still enjoy it? I know that you do it as your 9 to 5. You do it for other people. Do you still enjoy making content?
I love it.
Do you ever have like burnouts where you're like,
no.
ugh.
I was thinking about this the other day, because obviously as a human, you go through things, whether it's just like you're having a shitty day, like a shitty month, like you're just down in the dumps. And I was thinking about it because I'm like, when I was working like an in-person, like 9 to 5, or even like going to college or whatever, you still get up and like you go to class, you go to work. That's the same approach I take to my jobs now, like content creation, showing up. I haven't missed a day of posting since I started my accounts. And to me, I'm like, that's the ultimate.
Like Monday to Sunday, none.
Yeah. Once every single day, have not missed a day, whether I have been on vacation, sick, whatever. And that's something where I'm like, I take pride in that. Cause I'm like,
incredible.
I show up how I'd show up to my 9 to 5. Like, I don't call in sick.
Do you ever say like, listen, I do not want to be posting today, but, or I'm going through something?
It depends. Sometimes I'm like so real where I'm like, I feel like crap today, but like, here we are, we're showing up. Sometimes it's like a 5-second video. I'm like, this isn't my best work. It's not my proudest work, but it's something. And I think it's more so to keep myself accountable versus like other people, like what my audience would think or anything like that.
It sounds like you'd almost feel guilty if you didn't post.
Yeah, 1,000%. Sometimes it's like 10 p.m. and I'm like having the flu and I'm like, something needs to go up.
Yeah, I
gotta make it work. Yeah.
And is that for Instagram as well as TikTok, or just TikTok?
Just TikTok. Instagram, I feel like people posting multiple times a day. It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same on Instagram. But yeah, Instagram's a whole other beast.
And I understand what you're saying, but can you explain the difference that in your head between TikTok and Instagram, or like how you feel towards the two?
Yeah, I would say TikTok is like a close friend story to me, where you can be very vulnerable. You can show up how you are, how you like, whatever. It's very open and free is how I describe TikTok. Whereas Instagram, it feels a little bit like more rigid. Like there's some more rules that people want you to show up more proper. And I don't know if it's the algorithm, because obviously there's like different algorithms that one's kind of just based off of like pushing you to the For You page, like new eyes. If people like it, they'll engage with it. Where Instagram, it really gets shown to a lot of your followers. So I don't know. I feel like Instagram just feels like a strict older like sibling.
It's like newer than the Facebook, but obviously less out there and adaptive as TikTok.
For sure.
And I also think I said this to my best friend. I was like, I think that the reason why I'm so open to posting on TikTok is because I had Instagram when as if it was a way to communicate with your friends and new people, and it was your resume at that time. And then TikTok was for fun. It was for, you. It was like literally adaptive to what you want to post. Do you want to dance on it? Do you want to speak on it? Do you want to have fun? Do you want to make a joke? It was like you could do whatever and you didn't really know who was watching.
That was the best part, where it's like none of your friends followed you. So you could post whatever you want. Your family didn't know about it yet. So you had all the freedom to be, I think like the key is like to be authentically whoever you want to be, which I love.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And if you could give someone that's like wanting to start becoming and putting themselves out there, maybe they are posting on TikTok, but not as much, or they don't feel comfortable. A lot of people say to me, they just feel like awkward posting, or they feel like they're scared to, you know, post something because they'll be judged. What would you say to them?
Oh gosh, I would say being cringy isn't bad. I feel like people get so scared about filming, putting themselves out there, or like filming in public is a big one where people are like, how do you film in public? Like talking to your camera. I don't care to be like perceived and to be seen, or to be like made fun of or seen as cringy, be put into group chats, because it's like, I don't care. You'll want to be where I am. If you see me a year from now, you're not going to be making fun of me anymore. You're going to be coming to me being like, how did you do it? It's just any people who make fun of you, just they don't matter. They're like losers. Like I've never made fun of someone who I don't know. It's just icky to me.
Have you always been like that though?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
For like as long as I can remember, but it takes time to get here to the point of like not caring. Because I imagine if I were posting, I don't know, like 5 years ago back in college, I'm sure I would have cared way more than what I do now.
When did you really start Vanilla Swirl, like your own branding account? Your own brand
This time last
account?
year.
What, a year ago?
Yeah.
And you're at 900,000?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Like a round of applause to you.
Thank
because
you.
that's amazing. And you're doing it, no, you have your 9 to 5. You're not just doing that full time.
Yeah.
You're a woman of many talents.
I'm busy.
You are very busy, I'm sure. And you said you're 25 right now. Do you still live that 25-year-old lifestyle? Like, do you go out? Do you party? Or is it like, are you really strict with work?
I'm very much about like moderation in some parts of my life, where it's so funny because like I have a fiance and I'm older than I seem in certain aspects, but I also love to go out and like have fun with my friends, go party, go do all those things. But I'm very like structured. It's like if I'm out till 3 a.m, I'm still getting up at 8 a.m. to go to Solid Core. I'm still getting up and filming, just because I think you can have both at the same time.
And I love that because I'm such a balanced lifestyle person. Like maybe if I go to bed at 3 a.m, I'm not going to get up at 8, but I'll get up at 10. You know what I mean? I'll sleep a little bit longer, but I still love to enjoy myself and have fun and live like this life before I can't. But I admire the driven people that are like, no, work comes first at such a young age, because I'm like, I aspire to be them, but at the same time, I'm like, I still do want to live out my 20s. I still do want to be this person where I can make mistakes and learn from them. And I 100%. Think you just have to put yourself out there, and especially with social media, and you said be authentic. I am telling people, hey, listen, I'm not making the best decisions all the time. You might want to learn from me. Learn as I say, not as I do, but it is all about authenticity.
100%.
And kind of you mentioned it, you mentioned the fiance, and you are so young, and having a fiance at 25 is crazy. Let's talk relationships.
Yes.
How did you meet him? And I don't know if you've seen some of my content. I talk a lot about dating.
Yeah.
So you might have seen some of these questions coming, but how did you meet him? How did you meet him so young?
Yeah, so it's so funny when I tell the story, because it's like, it sounds terrible, but I dated his best friend.
Okay.
And I lived with his best friend.
So you can date the best friend and still get the friend. Okay?
You can date the best friend and still get the fiance.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, they're not friends anymore.
Because of you?
No, okay. No, they stopped being friends organically, and then we started talking. So I had him on Snapchat. I'm like, such a romantic story. I had him on Snapchat because of my ex. Like I knew who he was. Like he was from Barrie as well. I'm
so
like,
you met him through your ex?
Yeah. So we had each other on Snapchat, on Instagram. And when I broke up with my ex, I was still living in Niagara, so like 2 hours away from Barrie. And he messaged me one day because when I would come back to Barrie, I would work at the club. It was called the Johnsons. It was like a club back then. Anyways, he'd be like, you need to get me in tonight. Like I lost my ID, blah, 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 whatever. So basically we started talking on Snapchat.
Did you find him attractive though? Like when he was friends with your...
The thing is, when people ask me, I never liked him, like his personality, because we would hang out in groups. I would see him around downtown. Like I knew of him and I'd be like, this guy's so annoying. Like he's so cocky, like not a thought in my mind.
Like
about
he's
this
not for
guy.
me.
No. And I told people that I was very vocal that I didn't like him.
Yeah.
And he started messaging me, but it was very like just friendly. Like, oh, I like your new hair. Thanks. Moving on kind of thing. It wasn't
it's like a write-off a bit.
Yeah. And one day I was back in Barrie. I think I moved back in with my mom after like school for summer break or whatever. And he was like, hey, like I'm playing Mario Kart or something with my friend. Like you should come over. You only live like a block away from him. We lived on the same street, his friend and I. I was like, okay. Like I'm not doing anything. It's like a Tuesday night.
You didn't think anything of it, or were you assuming that it was?
I didn't think anything, because it was like friendly up until then. Like it wasn't anything. I didn't think of him in that way.
I'm really into this story right now.
Yeah, and we played Mario Kart. We hung out in this like creepy friend's basement, very chill, and we just like never stopped hanging out after that. We did have a real date afterwards.
Did you kiss on that Mario Kart?
No.
Did you have a date right after, or was it like numerous hangouts and then?
I think we played Mario Kart like twice, which is like crazy. And then we went to like a boxing match as like our first date.
Cute.
And I remember he like...
I love a sports thing.
He opened up his phone and there was like Snapchat open. He goes, yeah, I'm just going to delete my Snapchat. He's like, I'm going to date you. And I was like, that was very... At the time, like, you know how Snapchat is, where it's like Snapchat with guys is like a little,
always. It's like you're talking to every single girl ever.
Yeah. And he like deleted it right then and there, which I'm like, it could have been a red flag where it's like, what do you have on your Snapchat? But I was like, that's nice.
No, it's kind of hot.
And I think we kissed on that date. Okay. So like maybe like a few weeks
Well, I mean, if he's deleting his Snapchat, you got to give him something. Yeah. You know, you got to kiss him or something. Yeah. But wow. Yeah. First of all, you can... The spark notes from how I'm seeing this, because I'm single, so I'm learning here, okay? You can see potential in one of the friends.
100%.
As long as you end it amicably with the other guy. Yeah. And I love Mario Kart. Why hasn't anyone asked me to play Mario Kart?
Just like so innocent.
So innocent and so fun.
And it's not awkward. Like sometimes when you hang out with someone and you're like, let's go get dinner, you have to talk to them for 3 hours.
And you're nervous. Like you're at a spot where you're getting dressed up, you're meeting there. It's like very, beforehand. Playing Mario Kart, great. And I mean, now like we're older, so maybe if someone said Mario Kart at my house, I might be like, what?
Red flag.
Games, like a games thing, you know, something that you can do together.
An activity.
Yes. Aren't there like, you know, the rec room in Canada? Yeah. Are there things like that here in the States?
Yeah, there is. There's like so many of them.
So so like playing it, I don't like the whole like mini putting or whatever thing, but I would love to do like an arcade date. That'd be fun.
An activity is key.
Yes. So from then on, you were kind of together. You started a relationship. At what age did you become a fiance?
At last year, October. So I was 24. Okay. Which is crazy to think about. But we were together.
I'm 24.
Oh, you're 24?
Tell me you're younger than you.
Oh, wow.
How old did you think I was?
I don't know. I just don't know because you're very mature. So I'm like, she could be like 27. She could also be 22. You don't know with people.
Everyone loves to ask that question. Do you get that a lot on like socials, how old you are and how tall you are?
I don't get how tall I am. Okay. But people ask how old I am all the time. It's one or the other. People are like, you look 18, or they're like, you look 35. And I don't know whether they're trolling or not. But it's one or the other.
I look like Tana Mojo.
Yes.
Do you see it?
I don't see it. I just see because of the hair.
Hair and then probably dark eyebrows.
Yeah. But that's the only thing.
And then I get people being like, no one says I'm younger. People say I look like 50 years old or like 24.
It's one or the other.
So
always.
I'm like, okay, is that a diss? Like, am I a really hot 50-year-old or am I just like, like you tell me. But okay, sorry, we got off topic. Back to being engaged at such a young age. How did this happen?
The engagement?
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that we were going to get engaged sometime because like we were together for like 4 or 5 years at this point. I'm like, it's coming. Like he's older than me. He's turning 28. So I'm like, he wants kids, all this stuff. So we went on a family vacation to Europe. So it was like my sister, my dad, him. And I'm like, he's going to do it in Europe. Like, of course he's going to do it.
And that's romantic.
Yeah. So I'm Serbian. So when we went to Serbia, I was like, oh, he's probably going to come to Serbia.
I love that you're Serbian because I have so many Serbian friends and I totally understand why I'm so in love with your personality.
I love that. Serbians are the best. They're feisty.
They are. And they're so fun.
They're so good. I love Serbians.
Sorry, carry on.
So I was like, he's going to do it in Serbia because like, that's my homeland, whatever. He didn't do it in Serbia. So I'm like, okay, he's not proposing this trip then. Like this was the place and time to do it, and he didn't. So we went to Italy afterwards, and we were on like, do you know where like Lake Como is, Lake Garda?
Yes, I went there recently.
So beautiful.
For a wedding.
So we were just going out for dinner, and he said something when I was getting ready. He's like, I want to match you. This man has never asked what I was wearing, asked my outfit, wanted to match me for a dinner in 5 years. So that raised a red flag. I'm like, why do you want to match me? You're
like, I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Did you put 2 and 2 together?
At that point, I was kind of like, okay, something's going to happen. Like whether, I don't know.
Yeah.
But why are you going to match me? And then we were walking to our like dinner location, but there was no restaurants. Like we were just walking in forestry kind of thing towards the water. And I go, I am so hungry. I was getting like hangry. I was like, where are we eating? We've been walking for 10 minutes. Like what the heck? My sister's with us. My dad was parking the car, so he was like really far behind us. And he was just like, oh, we're going over there. We're going over there. And I was like, nothing is over there. That's water. Like, tell me where we're going. I'm hungry. And then all of a sudden, this woman with this huge camera, like huge lens, goes, Julius, here is good. Like this small Italian woman. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, well, you gave it up.
Yeah. And then I look at my sister because I'm holding a whole bunch of things. I have my jacket on. I'm like, is this? And my sister's like, yeah, like give me your sunglasses, give me your stuff, like take off your Apple Watch, like get it all off. And then my fiance was so flustered because this woman was like
screaming.
Yeah. And she didn't know a lot of English because she was an Italian woman. So she only knew his name and then being like, here. And he's trying to explain like, she didn't know. Like I told you she didn't know. We're not at the location. So then he awkwardly had to like walk me to exactly where he wanted it, which was like in front of the water with like rocks or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, he was so nervous. He was shaking, cold, sweaty. He gets down on one knee. He couldn't get anything out of his, like, he couldn't say anything. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
But why do
I'm
I
so
love
sorry.
that? He's so
I felt
nervous.
so bad, because I've never seen him like flustered and like scared and like cold and clammy. And he
loved you so much.
Yeah, he couldn't get anything out. And I was like, okay, Julius, like you have to, I'm laughing at him in the video. You can see me just like laughing hysterically.
You're like,
I'm like, you have to
one
say
word
it.
after the other.
You have to say it. And he couldn't say like, will you marry me? I'm like, you have to say it. Like, come on.
No, like this is the time.
This is the time. And he finally got it out. And he like opened the ring box upside down, so the ring almost fell out, of course.
Julius.
No, he should have practiced.
Buddy.
He didn't know the hand to put it on. He goes, which hand? And he grabbed my right hand. And I'm like, this guy is like...
He's like, this girl's gonna marry me whether I know how or not.
And my dad and sister are like watching him just like mess up. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't look at their faces, but I'm sure they were laughing at him because he was so visibly anxious and just trying to make it perfect. And yeah.
Does it feel weird having a ring on your finger?
It did at first.
Can I see it?
Yeah, it's dirty. I'm like, there's lotion on it.
Stunning though.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And are you happy with everything and how it turned out?
I'm so happy because I feel like the story's very us. I'm like, if it was just like this fairy tale turned out perfect, I'm like, that wouldn't be us. I'm like, we're so like messy and chaotic, and like I liked that it was funny, and now I'm like, it's the funniest story to tell when people ask.
And it's fun.
Yes.
And it's realistic. People can relate.
Yes.
Nothing's ever perfect. So people having these perfect videos and things, like something went wrong. Something didn't go great. Yeah. Like, I love that though. I think that's like so real and so authentic and so raw that it just is beautiful in itself.
Yeah, thank you.
So you have had the wedding yet or no? No?
This October, so 2025 October, and we're gonna do it in Greece. Super small, like 40 people.
But stunning though. Being a destination wedding is like, for me, ideal.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many friends do people really have?
I always ask myself, because I have 3 like best friends who are invited, and then like my sister and his sister. And that's basically it. Like, no one's really getting a +1 unless you've been around for a while. And I feel like it's almost nice to not do like courtesy invites, because a lot of times people don't want to go to weddings, or like don't want to feel like they have to go to weddings and take time out of their day or take time off of work, give a gift. And I'm like, I don't want you to have to do that.
And also, you want the people that you are so close with. You don't want to have an awkward conversation with someone that you're not even
I don't
want to
meet you on my wedding day. I don't want to be like, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
So you're planning and you're in the midst of all of it.
I don't really plan it. My fiance, he's kind of type A. So he planned the whole engagement, and he's going to plan like the rest of the wedding.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You're just picking up the dress? And
I picked up the dress. And
you already did?
Yeah. You have to like buy your dress like almost a year in advance for alterations. That's something they don't tell you. I found that out November of last year. Someone was like, you have to get it like a year in advance, especially if you're getting it like custom made or like certain alterations done or whatever, because it takes like, my dress is being made in Italy. It takes 6 months just to like get shipped in. And then you have to do all the alterations. That's what they don't tell you.
Holy. Yeah. So 9 to 5, planning a wedding ish. Like you're still doing some things. Yeah. Approving the wedding and doing your own social media. How do you balance it all?
Oh gosh.
Like what's your day to day?
My day to day is, so for the 9 to 5, I'm very lucky to where I can still make my own schedule. So I'm not like working 9 to 5. I work the first week of the month. Okay. Every single day, like a 6-hour shift or whatever. And then at the end of the month, I just do like approvals of like, this is what we're doing, checking this off, this is good. So to me, it's like the first week of every month is like grind season.
Yeah, hectic.
But then other than that, it's just the social media throughout the month. So I'm like, it's not, to me, it's my normal. And I'd rather do that than be in an office.
And do you like being busy? Like, do you like having, do you have a set calendar for like content? Or are you one of the people that take it all on a weekend? Or are you the people that take new content every day for that day's post?
Both. So I definitely like batch my content on the weekends, where it's like if I can film 5 videos, amazing. Also, I film every single day. I think it's just a part of my routine, whether I post it, whether I don't, whether it sits in the drafts. I think it's just a part of who I am now, where I like to film something every single day. So a bit of both.
And then it's like easy to, God forbid you're having a horrible day and you didn't take anything, you have that, but like you're probably still going to take something even if it doesn't get posted.
Exactly.
Which is probably nice for the followers too, because it's like they're living your every day to day too. And they can probably understand that it's a different day.
Yes.
Following like strategy and things, are you really strict on, okay, I have to today post something that's like with this new trend that just came out? Or is it more so now, this is me and this is who I am, and I know my followers are going to follow me for me, I'm just going to post what I'm thinking that day?
Both. So I feel like a lot of the times it's just like what I want to post and like what I know my audience kind of like wants to see, what they enjoy, like what they're asking for. Like, like people will tell you what they want in their comments. Ask, they'll ask and almost like tell. So that's a lot. I would say like 90% of where my content comes from. But if there's like a really funny trend or something that I see is just like so funny on the For You page, or like that people are hopping on, I'm always like, let's throw this together, because usually it performs well. Yeah. People love it. It's just like something funny, and it's so easy usually to do one of these like quick trends.
It's almost too easy.
Too easy.
And like you can just switch it up into like how it fits into your life, exactly. Like the text or whatever on the screen.
Exactly.
Do you get any like hate comments, or is your audience pretty good?
I feel like it depends. On YouTube Shorts and Instagram, I feel like that's like the prime place for hate comments. My TikTok community, they're too nice, and I tell them that sometimes, which I love them, but people on Reels and YouTube Shorts are ruthless. Like my favorite comments are like, you have such a chubby face, you're so pale. Like, no, they actually make me laugh, because God, it'll be a paragraph explaining in detail. And I was just like, how did you took 5 minutes out of your day to write that? And I'm like, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure you went and did that to like
7 other people
after me tonight. Yeah. Yes. Hilarious.
I get those too. And I mean, it's weird that you say it's Instagram Reels and YouTube, because mine is TikTok.
No.
Yeah, there's some ruthless people on TikTok.
No.
But I also like, you're all beauty and whatever. I'm also not, like, I'm like the weirdest shit. Like, I'm talking about like, I'm making jokes about myself, or I'm telling advice, and people can
I feel like your content can be for like anyone and everyone, where it's like mine is very specifically like women, if that makes sense, where I'm sure like so many people watch your videos,
which is great though,
which opens you up.
Strong community. And do you do any events and stuff with them?
Here and there, but it's
tough. It's a lot of work to do like an event on top of posting every single day. You have a 9 to 5. You're approving a wedding, all that. Like, it's a crazy life to live.
Busy. Last night I was at an event, and it went from 7 p.m. to like 12 in the morning. It was like the longest event ever.
Holy, for what?
It was, Fleur, the perfume brand. Yes. Yeah, so I was with them at the Versace mansion last night.
I saw that on your story.
Yes.
Stunning.
Beautiful, but got there at 7, didn't eat till like 9. The girl next to me was like, when is this over? Like, she's like, it's so long, and love them, but events like that. I had like a meeting this morning that I was like 10 minutes late to, which I'm like, I try to be on time for everything. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't get home till almost 1 in the morning.
That's crazy.
When I didn't think I thought it was gonna be like a 2-hour little event.
Well, what took so long?
I don't know. It was just like they were waiting for people to come, even though they said like hard launch, like 7, be there kind of thing. And we didn't eat till like 9:30. And then it was like 3-4 courses, which took time. And then afterwards, I guess everyone was ordering their cars and their Ubers to leave. So the valet, there was only one valet. So like trying to get like 30 girls' cars took like over an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how's your boyfriend? I mean, how's your fiance with all of this? Is he like good with you being on social media all the time? Good with you getting all this attention?
Yeah.
How's he with everything?
I'm very lucky, is very chill.
Good.
Yeah. He thinks it's so funny. When we're like in Sephora and stuff, he'll yell like, Vanilla Swirl is here, to try and get a reaction. Yeah. He thinks it's.
I kind of love that though.
Yeah. He's very like, he's secure in our relationship. He thinks it's like the coolest job ever. Very supportive. He's always like, what can I do for you? I'm like, well, you don't know how to edit.
Yeah.
You don't know anything really about social media, so you can't help me at all. But thank you for
caused me
offering.
more harm than good. Thank you very much.
I'm like, you're stressing me out by asking me if you can help me. But he's good.
But he tries.
He tries.
Even
That's all
though
that matters.
like the fact that he's even asking is amazing.
Yeah. Trained him.
Yeah, which is good. Whip him into shape.
Yeah.
And if you, it seems like you would choose this job, but if you were to do it all over and, you know, be 16 again before you had your first social media strategy gig, whatever, would you do it all over? Would you do anything differently?
I don't think I would do it any differently. Like I feel like everything happens for a reason, and like your life journey, all those things. And I'm so happy and like truly feel so blessed, and like I'm supposed to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't change anything. Maybe I wouldn't go to school, because that's like $50,000 of debt that I didn't need to.
You're like, I didn't need that.
I didn't need that.
How did you learn everything for social media?
So the agency taught me so much, which was, they were amazing. They paid for so many master classes, resources. So they really were the ones. And like, I attribute them. I'm like, you guys literally gave me everything, but I didn't have experience. I'm like, I was just like a college grad, and you gave me every opportunity to learn and paid thousands of dollars so I could learn from the best. And that's honestly it. And then just trial and error, working with clients, seeing what works, doing it myself, I think was huge for learning. And yeah.
Do you have any big goals for social media and everything for 2025? Is there anything you want to start next, like a podcast or?
I don't know. I feel like YouTube is like a beast I really want to tackle, like long form, because I feel like it was short form was king for like the longest time, where no one had the attention span for even like a podcast sometimes.
No.
Let alone like a 30-minute YouTube video, anything within that realm. But I love YouTube. Like I grew up on YouTube.
Me too.
So I think, just like more long form content.
I'm still a YouTube kid. Like I still will get ready to like 2 of my like favorite YouTubers or something.
Who are your favorite YouTubers?
They're all from like Europe.
Oh, interesting.
Like I like Sophia and Cinzia.
Okay.
They're 2 like best friends that always do vlogs. I like Madison Sarah. She's another one. Just a bunch of girls that just do their makeup and like it's
you can
fun.
throw them on the background and just chill.
You don't really have to follow, but you're just sitting there. Like I'm still love my reality TV. Don't get me wrong.
Love it.
But I love like just a good YouTube video. So I'll watch you when you step
when I start posting
when you tackle
more.
that beast. Yeah. Do you have a YouTube now?
I do.
Okay, so you're like already kind of in it, but you want to fully tackle it.
I want to fully tackle it. I feel like a crazy goal, 1 million on YouTube this year. I'm like, I love millions.
I believe you. Yeah.
Like even everything out. So yeah, that's probably my big goal.
And monetizing and making money on social media. How do you kind of like find your worth on each platform?
Yeah, I feel like having a management, I feel like you can understand this, is so helpful for knowing your worth, and then also like negotiating for your worth, like having someone on the back end who like advocates for you and like knows your engagement, your audience. I think that signing with management has honestly been the best thing for knowing my worth and getting what I'm worth.
And like taking some of it off of you so that you can still be creative and take the time to create your content.
Yeah, made my load so much easier signing with Dulcetto, because I'm like, they take care of all my emails, everything. I'm like, I truly like save hours a day just from having people who do that for me.
Yeah.
And like have my best interests at heart too.
I totally agree. I've only been with them for like a month.
Okay, so you're a new sign.
Yeah. So far so good though. Yeah. I'm liking it. But I've only done like full-time content because I just moved back from New York, which I was doing PR there. But I've only really done full-time content like 2 months, 3 months.
Oh wow, so still new.
Still new.
How are you liking it though? It's such a difference. It being full time.
Yeah,
It's a different feeling.
It's addicting.
Yes.
It's addicting seeing that follower number go up. It's addicting wanting more and more people to talk to you and see and reply to comments and things. It's hard some days. It's not always easy, but you know, like some days I wake up with a pimple or I feel, you know, you're on your period and you feel so gross and fat and everything. And I'm just like, I don't want to post today, but that's life for every girl. So it's like, you also got to just show that side of it too. And growing up, there was so many people that didn't show, you know, the ugly of it all. So I'm kind of happy that there's so many of us now that are being open, honest, and showing the bad too, because that's exactly what people need to see. Yeah. Young girls.
That's what's missing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I do a lot of advice and I'm like, listen, I'm taking life coaching, so I'm trying to be a certified coach. Awesome. But take it with a grain of salt. Like I'm giving you my honest opinions, but I'm not a guru here. Yeah. I'm just giving you what I've been through and what other people have talked about. But speaking of that, I started a series on the pod where I got people to write in their worst date stories.
Oh gosh.
So I have a few that I put down in my notes and I labeled it date or ditch. Okay. So kind of a sense of, obviously we're giving advice and sharing our opinions on situations that have happened and they're writing in. But also at the end of it, we'll say, do you continue the date or do you ditch the date?
Oh, I love this.
You know? So I picked the wild ones, obviously.
Perfect.
I kind of labeled them too because I've read a few just to make sure that they're not too insane. Yeah. So the first one that I put down is the surprise plus one.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Sarah, this one is wild. I show up for a first date and the guy has his mom with him. Like literally, she's sitting at the table when I get there. I tried to be polite, but she was asking me questions like, what's your 5-year plan? Can you cook? How do you feel about grandkids? It was awkward. When she finally left, he asked, so what did you think of my mom? I just told him she was nice and it was nice meeting them and never texted back. First of all,
wow.
What the fuck? Literally.
That's insane.
So let's say this is your fiance and this was the first time meeting him. What would you do?
I would ditch. I think like that like
would you even sit down?
Like, I think I would because I feel I'm like nice and I feel like I hate confrontation. So I'm someone who would be like, let's just give it a shot. And then it'd be like a funny story to tell all my friends later. But after that, I would definitely like ghost ditch.
Do it for the plot and ditch.
Yeah. Because why did you bring your mom? And why did you think that's okay? I like the thought behind it. Why would you think that's okay?
And like, I need some context behind this because like, have you guys been on another date? Because this is the worst date stories I put out for people to write in. I'm genuinely confused. If this was a first date, even a second, third, fourth, fifth, that's fucking weird.
Yes.
So even if it was a fourth date, for me, still ditch.
Yeah, ditch. Because also it raises like mommy issues.
Yeah.
To where like the mom, like
has to approve of everything.
Yeah. Let's say you guys date for a year, whatever, you know that potential mother-in-law mom would be on her son about you. Like she would never like you. She'd be just,
she might be living with you guys.
Yeah.
Like she might have had a extra guest room and it's hers.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Okay. Well, thank God. Every single situation that's been written in, I've said ditch. But next up, the extreme couponer. That's just what I labeled it. Girl, I went on a date with a guy who was obsessed with coupons. He used them for dinner, parking, and even the movie we went to after. I didn't care at first because saving money is cool, but then he started arguing with the waiter for 20 minutes over an expired coupon for $5. People were staring and I just wanted to disappear. Later, he texted me saying, you should have been more impressed by my budgeting skills. No second date, obviously.
Oh my gosh.
Are coupons even still a thing?
I don't know. My mom used to be like an extreme couponer.
So maybe this is like an old date story.
Maybe, but I'm like, I used to get so embarrassed when we'd be at the grocery store and she'd be like whipping
you
out
had secondhand
her book.
Embarrassment.
Yeah. But so I get the saving money, the coupons, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. I'd be like a little cringy, like maybe, but fighting, arguing with a waitress or a waiter, that's for like a legit boundary and line for me. Cause I'm like, that just shows your respect for service workers and you're gonna,
it's an ick.
And for $5.
Yeah.
Is crazy.
And also like, you just have to think, I'm concerned, like, what do you do? Do you have enough money to even pay? If the coupon doesn't work, obviously that's a great first option and we want to be able to save money. But if it doesn't work, it seems like if you're yelling at somebody,
It's that serious.
can you pay?
Yeah.
Do you have the money? That's where I'm like, listen, we need to chat.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'd want to have a chat.
No, you would just never talk to them.
And
again.
I honestly think couponing is an ick.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I don't even know where to find a coupon
No, I haven't seen like a physical coupon
in a really long
in
time.
a really long time.
Like 10 years.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
So we're ditching.
Ditching.
Okay, last but not least, the wrong ride disaster. I matched with this guy who seemed super cool. So I let him pick me up for the first date. I get in his car and he's acting weirdly distracted. A few minutes later, we pulled into a McDonald's drive-thru and he says, "Can you order? I forgot my wallet." I was annoyed, but got us food. Then he confesses it's not his car, it's his ex-girlfriend's, and he borrowed it without telling her. I immediately got out and called myself an Uber. First of all, worst date stories. This is not a date. Someone taking you to McDonald's is not a date. They literally kidnapped you. No. I can't believe this is happening to people.
It is. Like, I have a single best friend who's younger than me. She's 23, 24.
Okay.
And hearing her date stories, like Hinge, Tinder, like I get a voice memo, I get a call once a week with like the debrief of all the dates. Like stuff you would not even like imagine.
Like things that aren't even on
crazy.
TV.
Yeah. And like these are just real life men.
Is there any like bits that you could share?
Crazy ones, like there was this one guy, we call him Hike Guy. Cause
I love how we come up with names like that.
Hike Guy took her, made her, okay, first of all, he made her buy a whole hiking outfit. He's like, I won't go with you unless you have like proper hiking boots, hiking skirt, whatever. Okay, she's
Red
like,
flag number 1.
Sure. She's naive. She's like, whatever.
Okay,
he's
better be
so
a really
hot,
good hike.
Like, he's perfect. Yeah. Okay. They go for a hike and he goes, I'm going to take you as far as I can take you into this like, I don't know, whatever, forest area. She calls me. She's like, is that weird? I'm like, yeah, you don't, that's creepy. And so she goes like 5 hours on this hike. It's like a trail or whatever. And he leaves her. Okay. He goes, I need someone with like, what's it called? Natural selection. People who can like fight and survive for themselves. Like you're going to have to find your way back to me. Her phone didn't work. They're so far in.
Shut up.
Yeah. And she's like, I didn't know what to do. So I just like followed the trail back. But obviously like it gets confusing, the trees, whatever. And I guess what he was doing was like following, like went a little away and was watching her trying to find her way back. So he didn't actually leave her, but she thought he left her. And he was like tracing her for hours in this forest.
No, that's how horror stories start.
And then he was just like, haha, like he popped out and he's like, okay, like let's actually go now. And that was just the date.
How old were they?
This was last summer, so 23. He was older though. He was like 29.
That's like maybe a kink or something of his.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. Like, did he find it funny to watch you like scared and struggling? Because she was like,
or was he turned on by that?
Yeah, because she said she was like bawling, like so scared, trying to get her phone to work. It was getting dark. She was cold. She was like, I was literally terrified.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That is a horror story.
Yeah. Like that's just like the craziest one where I'm like,
I want to give her a hug.
Yeah.
And that's like too, like some people say things. I mean, I've heard stories of girls that have gone to like dates or whatever and people have called them Ubers to different places or like haven't let them like leave and things.
That's
and it's
so
like
scary.
there is like some crazy ass shit that happens. That's why you always share your location with your friends.
Always.
Hopefully it would still show you where she was if she was in the woods.
Well, I knew kind of that they were going on a hike, but it doesn't update your location when you stop getting data. So it's like I could see she was in the forest.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't see where.
Thank God
Crazy.
she's alive.
Yeah.
We love you, whoever you are.
Yeah, we love
we're
you.
We're glad that you're still here with us. F that man. Ditch him.
Yeah, ditch.
Did they
ever?
Okay.
No, I think
Thank God.
it was like a Tinder or Hinge guy, like something so like they didn't even have each other's numbers. It was all through like I think like Snapchat or something. and she
And you
blocked
already
him.
know that this isn't the first time that man's done that.
Well, to have like such like a specific like
Yeah.
you need hiking boots, you need this, you need that, like taking them to like you've done this before, which is scary.
Yeah.
Which is really scary.
So we started off with a success story of dating, which was yours.
Yeah.
And then we ended on some very big disasters,
Yeah.
horror stories to say the least. And just looking at time, I'm going to finalize this podcast with a quick rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm a big talker, so if it takes more than 15 seconds, totally fine. But I'm going to ask you these questions and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Dream collaboration.
Oh gosh. Probably with L'Oreal, long
L'Oreal?
term. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like a long-term yearly contract?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather get ghosted or ghost someone while you were single?
I'd rather ghost someone. Did it all the time.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Biggest brand deal you've had? You don't have to say the number. If you want to say number, sure.
I'll say number because
'Kay.
I can't probably out the brand, but 30,000 for a video.
That's incredible. Good
Yeah,
for you.
thank you.
Get your bag. Ideal date night with your fiance?
Now that we've been together so long, good food. We love like this Cuban restaurant. So the Cuban restaurant and then walk and then
Like on the beach?
like, yeah, just go for a walk. I don't know. Walking after food is just like so romantic to me, like having like a little chat and then bed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Simple.
Like we've been together so
You're
long.
like, we don't need much.
Yeah. We don't need much.
Would you date someone shorter than you? So I
No.
guess, okay.
Hard no.
Hard no. I mean, it should always.
Yeah. I'm also 5'4". So I'm like, if you're shorter than me, you're like you're like
Yeah.
5'2"
Yeah.
for it to be noticeable.
I'm just really tall too. So I'm like, I want to feel small for once in my life.
Yeah.
Let me feel small,
Yeah.
you know?
Especially with heels is my thing. Yeah.
What's most important? Looks, personality, money, in order.
Personality, money, looks.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for you. That was a great answer.
Yeah.
Mine, I think, was looks because I can't date someone I'm not attracted to.
Yeah.
Personality, then money.
Yeah. My thing is you can kind of make someone attractive. Like
Yeah.
my fiance, from how he
True.
looked when I first met him to now, I'm like, obviously I didn't find him attractive back
You're
then.
like, I've leveled you up.
You got to do some like girlfriend work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a must.
Yeah.
Most kissable lip combo, product wise.
Okay. Fenty lip liner in the shade Thug's Blush 2.
Okay,
And
you're
then-
good.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then just like a lip oil.
Okay. Lip
Lip
oil,
oil.
not a gloss?
No.
Okay.
Too
And not a
sticky.
plumper?
No.
Okay. What lip oil brand?
I love Dior. Fenty has a good one. Clarins. Like they're all kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay.
Good lip oil.
That was really quick answering questions. You're good at this. Do you have any other questions for me before we end?
No.
No.
That was
Well,
so good.
thank you so much. You're like an incredible human being and so beautiful. So thank you for coming on
Thank
the
you
pod.
so much for having me.
Thank you guys for watching. I love you and I will see you next Thursday.